Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. So today is the day. Today is the day that I finally finish the Hoverfly, this custom that I've been working on since the 30th of June. So I'm finally on the last section and I definitely will finish it today. So this is a 80 by 75 and it has 89 colours. So if you're watching on replay, I'm never sure how many people will come in or what we'll be talking about. So it just takes a bit of time for people to drop in. And then we get talking and we just talk about whatever. Not necessarily diamond painting. It could be, depending what people want to talk about. Yesterday we were talking about places that people have lived. People who have moved to different countries. Talking a bit about Denmark, where I live now. I moved from Scotland to Denmark in 2012. So we're talking a bit about that. We were also talking about coronavirus without anybody getting into an argument, which was nice. So what I tend to do is if it stays really quiet like this, I don't talk. I just concentrate on getting the diamond painting done. And if people come in and start to chat, then the diamond painting slows down a lot because I can't do both at the same time. I'm a typical single tasking guy. I know that when I come on it is very early in America. What time is it actually? It's 9 minutes past midday in Denmark just now. Hi Carly, good afternoon. So I'm going to finish it today. Even if I talk, I'm going to finish it today. This is the last section. So did you prep up any more diamond paintings yesterday when you got home? Or is 8 enough? Yeah, you for finish. I just checked my gems flow and I started this on the 30th of June. So I should finish it today. Okay. Yeah, I did catching up with baggies once just to try it. It's fine if you've got resealable bags, if the kit that you get has resealable bags. But these ones don't. These have the dreaded strings of 200s. So that's what I've got to look forward to with the next one. 90 colours in bags of 200. So you need to buy more containers, Carly. I've actually got some that I'm not using and won't use, but the cost of sending them to anybody is too expensive. So they'll probably just sit there. They might get used at some point, but I doubt it, because we've finally settled with the Tic Tac cases. They work really well for us. So I've got some Harbour Freights and can't remember the name of them. Lockables, craftably lockables. You think you have enough? You can never have enough containers. So it's all little bits and pieces. The whole thing has been. X. X is 70. Just buy a bigger place. So a few single ones here, I think. That was one of them. Hi, Michelle. Good what? Good morning. It's afternoon in Denmark. Buying bigger place, go to a full room. Just buy the house next door or the apartment next door. One for living in and one for diamond painting in. You can afford it, Carly, all these hours you work. First in, last out and all that stuff. So how are you, Michelle? Looking forward to the weekend? Don't get paid overtime. Just love your job so much. You would work for free if you could. So these YouTube shorts have taken me over 50,000 views on YouTube, which is pretty cool. Saw that this morning. Carly might be a bit quiet because I think she's at work, so she's got to pretend that she's working. You're not even pretend. I don't know. You go from one extreme to the other, Carly. First you're first in, last out, working overtime, not getting paid, and then you don't care. Did you have a good walk? Was it No, not yesterday. The day before yesterday. You said you were going for a walk. Do you have nice places to walk? Are you in a place where you can walk out in the countryside, or are you in a concrete jungle? Four of the 60 bottle cases in large jars, and two of the 60 bottles with the or the 60s with the smaller bottles. That is a lot of storage. What have I got? I've got two 80 cases of the Tic Tac boxes. I've got two 2XL Craftmates lockables, these things. They've got the little button that you press in to unlock them. This holds, I did one recently that had 26,500 310s, and they all went in this. So this is handy when I've got a lot of one colour. I've got two of them. I've never needed to use two at the same time. And I've got Harbour Freights that I don't use. Oh, you're in Australia. And I always struggle to remember where everybody is. I just sort of take it for granted that everybody's in America. The odds are they are. Most people that watch my YouTubes and stuff are in America. What else have I got? I've got the smaller lockables that come in the purple case that opens up. I can't even remember how many are in them. I don't use them at all. I used them once, and then I just found they weren't very practical. Every day is a weekend for me. Oh yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, Michelle. We had two people in from Australia. Yeah, things have really changed there. I was talking about how Denmark is nearly back to normal so far. And then someone mentioned that new strain of the coronavirus. I can't remember what it's called now. Something 2.1. I looked that up. And then I found out there's a newer one that they've got their eye on called Mu, M-U. So it just keeps changing. Well, it's just as well you've got your diamond painting to keep you company. How long is the lockdown for, have they said? Or is it just wait until the numbers go down or what? C1.2, yeah. Yeah, I looked it up straight after the live yesterday. And then I noticed there was a new one called Mu. It's just one that they're keeping an eye on, but they're kind of worried how that's going to go. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, Carly. Tammy and I, apart from not being able to go to music concerts, it never really made any difference to us. We are not social butterflies. I saw the thing in the news talking about the ivermectin that people are starting to inject themselves with. They actually use ivermectin to kill mites on snakes. If you have a pet snake and it gets mites, if you take it to the vet, they will inject it with ivermectin. And the ivermectin goes through the bloodstream and the mites drink the blood and it kills them. Yeah, I had, I don't know if I mentioned, I don't know if this has come up. I know we always do like random things come up. And as I said, that's what I like about doing these things. I never know what I'm going to be talking about. Yesterday's was a good one, I thought. Talking about mosquitoes, we don't have mosquitoes in Scotland. We have things called midges that are like tiny little flies, but they bite through the skin. But they are in like clouds of hundreds, if not thousands. I'd never had any involvement with mosquitoes until I moved to Denmark. And I found out that I'm allergic to mosquito bites. I was actually doing a live stream. It was a few years ago. I was doing a live stream, and instead of going around the sort of central Copenhagen, the touristy part of Copenhagen, I went out of Copenhagen and I went to Mosen, which is it's like marshland and it's a nature reserve. So I went there and I thought that'd be something different. So I was walking about showing people all the geese and the swans and the lake, and well, it's not a lake, it's just marsh, but it's like a huge pond, and dragonflies and all that stuff. And then I decided to take a shortcut down this little path that went in through like tightly knitted trees and bushes, and it had been raining, so it was really wet. And when I was walking, I was using a gimbal, which you hold like a gimbal. I don't know if you know what a gimbal is. But you hold it, it's like it's got a grip on it, and then it holds the phone so the phone doesn't shake. Like every time I touch the table here, you can see this shakes. It's because the camera's just on an arm. So if I bump the table, the stand is clamped to the table, so it shakes. If I had this on a gimbal, yeah, it's a stabilizer. If I had this on a gimbal, no matter how much I shook the table, the picture would stay still. And I use that when I do live streams. Yeah, we were talking about yesterday, Michelle, about the corona, and somebody said that there was a new one that they were worried about, and it's that one that Carly put up there, the C1.2. They think it could be worse than the Delta, so they're keeping an eye on it. And then, as I said yesterday, when I started reading up, I found out there's another one that they're keeping an eye on that they're kind of worried about, or they could be worried about. It's too early to say, but it has the potential to be worse, and they're calling it MU, MU. So anyway, I was out doing this live stream, and I took a shortcut. And when I was walking along holding the gimbal, I could see mosquitoes landing on my hand. And I never really thought anything about it. And then the next day when I woke up, my hand was like a glove, a red glove, all puffed up. And I went to the doctor, and I walked in, and she said, "How can I help?" And I just held up my hand, and she went, "Ah, okay." So I ended up on pills I had to take and cream at the same time. I had to take them for 2 weeks to get the swelling to go down. It's an allergic reaction to the mosquito bite. So now I don't go down those little covered areas. I keep in the sun. It's been months, and it looks like it'll be until October. Whoa. Are the numbers really going up? I mean, I haven't been keeping up with this. Are the numbers, like the people going into hospital and the people dying, are they like increasing, or is this a preventative thing? Because I remember Australia had virtually missed it, the whole thing, and it looked like they were going to get away with it, and then suddenly everything changed. I'm just wondering, I haven't actually looked at the figures for anywhere. I think it's because where I live, the coronavirus is pretty much it's there and people are getting it. We're getting about roughly 800 new cases a day. But as far as the hospital is concerned, we had no deaths yesterday. I think no deaths the day before that. I think we had maybe one death the day before that. Like the numbers of people that we've got in hospital are in single figures. In fact, sometimes there are no figures. It's like there's no people on respirators or anything. So Carly was actually saying that Denmark is the most vaccinated country per million in the world. She must have found the stats yesterday. So I think we're heading up towards 70% of the population has been vaccinated. So the way they're looking at it is very few people are going to get seriously ill. So everything's pretty much not quite back to normal, but very close. Up until recently, public transport, we had to wear masks. They've lifted that. You don't have to wear a mask at the hospital or at the doctor's or on public transport. Oh, sorry, Carly, tested. Right, okay, tested. Yeah, is it not Israel or somewhere that's the most vaccinated? Yeah, most tested. But I mean, the bottom line is that very, very few people are actually ending up in hospital, and that's what they're basing this on. So at the moment, things are going okay, but well, like happened with Australia, it doesn't mean to say that it's going to stay this way. And the way the virus is mutating, who knows what's going to happen? As I said yesterday, I've got a friend in England and he said that things are getting worse there. Oops. The hardest part is that I haven't been able to see my parents for 4, maybe 5 months. Yeah, that's the thing. When what is the regulation as far as getting in contact with other people? I know that in the UK they had a period where you weren't allowed anybody outside your family group or outside the home. Nobody was allowed to visit. They never had that. They never got to that stage in Denmark. They were advising, but they weren't making it like a rule. But that didn't last for very long. What they were doing here at one point was if you went to the store, like to buy groceries and things, only one person per household was allowed to go in the store. That's all gone now as well. So I take it it's the Delta strain that's caused all this trouble in Australia. First one person per household, and then they changed it to one person per family. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't last very long here, and a lot of people ignored it. I remember Tammy went to one of the shopping malls, like when they were open again, and they were still having sort of rules about families, one person. And she said when she went, it was just like a normal day. There were parents and kids and everything, like groups of like maybe 5 people and things. Nobody was stopping them. Yeah, I mean, I remember quite a long time ago reading about people getting shot and things in America, getting into arguments with security and shooting them. It's crazy. Yeah, I believe that, because that was their job and they weren't doing it. Yeah, I don't think we'll get into that one, Carly. I was kind of wary yesterday when we started talking about coronavirus, because I know that some people get extremely heated when you start talking about it, and I don't want these things turning into arguments. I mean, I'm quite happy to talk about things, but I really don't want any arguments to start. I mean, people can put their views, but if it starts to get out of control, I'll be kicking people. Politics and religion are probably the big two, and then maybe guns in America, and then coronavirus. It's probably the top four. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, there's not many people in anyway, but in fact, I think it's only you and me now. But it's just some subjects, the potential of it just getting out of hand, that I can see getting out of hand. Politics, definitely. Politics is just like a no-go. And religion. Did I say religion? Religion and politics are probably the big two. People have already got their mind set and they're not really prepared to listen to anybody else because they're right. That sort of attitude. So far, yeah. So what time do you finish today? Well, I take it since you're not doing anything, you can finish when you want. But on a Friday, do you normally finish like an hour early type thing? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not big on politics at all. If things were so easy to solve, everything would have been solved by now. I feel that when the politicians are good at making promises and then they get what they want and they don't deliver what they say because it just isn't possible. Simple as that. They get the power and then things change or don't change. And you see it again and again and again. It doesn't matter which country you're talking about. Politics is a very, very complex thing. And it's always a case of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You make cuts in some places, so you have to increase taxes somewhere else to cover it. You can't just drop taxes somewhere and still manage to run a country. You've got to get money somewhere. Tax is it. Usually finish early. Yeah. So have you got any plans for the weekend. I don't have any. Prepping up for my next diamond painting is going to be the highlight of my weekend. I'm going to try and do it in a video. I heard a side door of a delivery van there. I have to listen for the door because we're waiting on a few different things. Tammy ordered some new headphones, or not headphones, earbuds, wireless earbuds. They're meant to be coming today by UPS. I'm waiting on some more smart bulbs, different size connector, the bigger connector, to do a few more lights. I'm waiting on 2 diamond paintings coming from Mike at Smith Speeds. And try to remember what the other thing is. Oh yeah, it's a sort of stand thing that sits on your desk that your laptop sits on to raise it up. Carly. I saw a message popped up with your name there for Facebook. Tammy ordered that little stand because she's just got a new table, like a full-size office desk type thing that holds a laptop and 2 monitors. But she realised that the laptop sits too low, so she ordered a little stand thing that the laptop sits up on to raise it up to a better level. Is that what you're working on? That's a tiger with a tiger cub. I can't remember what else is in that picture. Oh, okay, no problem. So the other person who's in, don't know if they're going to join in. This is what Carly's working on. White tiger with cub. Is there another? Oh, moon and water. I was going to say, is there another cub in that, like this space? So it's water and a reflection of the moon. Okay. A lot of blue, yeah. Who did you get that one from? Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen anything in Copenhagen anywhere near that. When I first started diamond painting, I think it was before I actually ordered anything, I decided to look at craft stores in Copenhagen, thinking I just had to go in and find one I liked. All I found was it was diamond dots and it was a smiley face, maybe about that size. Smiley face with sunglasses. That was it. All right, okay, on a wooden frame. So I noticed that. So it actually comes in a frame. Yeah, it was that, like with a hat or something. I can't remember. And that was it. I think there was one other thing, and it was even smaller. So then I thought, forget that. I'll just buy something online. And I ended up buying 60 by 60 from Homecraftology. Oh, okay. All right. So it actually comes like that. You buy it like that. So you've got the frame, so it's already, and that's the key. Right, so it's already on a board and a frame. That's okay if you're picking it up from a local store, but I'm not sure what condition it would come in if it was getting sent by post. It's a good idea, though, to actually have it done. You pre-frame them, yeah. I think Diamond Dots, I don't know if they ever did it, but they were talking about having framed ones. But I don't know if they meant pre-framed or if they meant they sent you the frame, like the wood for the frame with it. Yeah, I imagine it would. I don't know if they ever did that. They were talking about starting a series of framed diamond paintings, but that was what, a year and a half ago, something like that, or maybe a year ago actually. Right. Okay. Yeah. Back then, they were just talking about doing it, or it was about to be released, or something like that at that time. Right. Okay. Yeah. I think they said that it was going to be a range of framed ones, or ones that came with frames, and I think maybe Homecraftology were thinking about it, or maybe it was just somebody had mentioned it to them. It sort of rings a bell, Homecraftology and frames, but I don't think that ever happened. I see that they have been upgrading their kits. They now come in little grey bags, like a long branded bag with canvases in it. Bit like Spell Queen. And they've switched to poured glue. They're all poured glue now. It's funny, yesterday I came on earlier and I thought nobody would be on. There were actually more people in yesterday than today. Laptop keeps falling behind. Is that your side that the problem is? We're looking to change our internet provider. But because of the setup that we've got, It's like an amalgamation, and it's like a group of people that they have a committee and all this stuff, and they were looking to switch internet provider. They're cheaper and they provide faster internet. But I think we lose stuff on a TV package, which really doesn't matter to us because we hardly ever watch TV. So there was a general meeting and they voted, but we're still waiting on the results of the vote. They were voting on other things, but the internet was the thing that caught our attention. I would like to get a faster connection. I mean, I think we are on a fast connection, but it's not the fastest. Hi, animal lover. Yeah, I don't know if it looks pretty. It's a pretty small section, so it's kind of hard to see what you're looking at. But it is actually a picture of a hoverfly on a flower. And it's a picture that I took in the botanical gardens in Copenhagen, and then tweaked it and got it made as a custom diamond painting. So it is 80 centimeters by 75 centimeters and 8 to 9 colors, and this is the last section. The next one is another custom of a picture that I took in Copenhagen. There's a theme here. It has 90 colors. So do you diamond paint, animal lover, or are you just passing? I sometimes get people dropping in that don't diamond paint, but we usually still find things to talk about. The fact that you're saying animal lover, that interests me because I used to help the SSPCA in Scotland. I did a lot of voluntary work, and I used to do public talks on television and various things regarding exotic animal husbandry. I did that for 16 years. Theme is pictures you take. Yeah, that's what a coincidence that is. It's pictures that I take in Copenhagen, and I even live in Copenhagen. What are the chances? Oh, I don't know if you been down for a few months. Cool. Dogs are your favourite. Dogs are actually, as pets, like as true pets, dogs are my favourites as well. As I said, I used to help at the SSPCA Animal Rescue in Balerno in Scotland, and the dogs were like my thing. When I went in, I used to go in and go around and clean out all the dogs and take them for walks. And then when people were coming up to look for a dog, I would talk to the people, get an idea of the people, just in general, what they were like, and try and pair them up with one of the dogs. So it was a really good job. I really enjoyed doing it, but there were a lot of sort of sad things when you see animals that have been neglected, or cases where there was one particular, a little dog, and it was I think it was like 14, an old dog, and its owner had died. She was a companion for an old man, and he died, and there was no family to take the dog, so the dog ended up with us. And it was really stressed because I'd never been away from the guy, and then suddenly it was in a kennel. Yeah, it was really sad, but I think she was only in 2 days, and an elderly couple came up, and they were looking for a dog, just a companion. They weren't looking for like a hyper dog, and this little dog was perfect for them. So I spoke to them and I explained the situation, and they took her. So that was really nice. But I mean, the animals that you get, I was quite surprised. What do you think the number one animal that gets neglected and dumped is? Well, at that rescue centre at least. And it was at a certain time of year that they got them. A lot of them. It wasn't cats. It wasn't dog. Yeah, that was. I thought you might think that. It wasn't that either. If I didn't know, that's the one I would have said dogs at Christmas. It wasn't that. They had a small animal room. Nope, it wasn't chicks. We did get chickens sometimes. I mean, we got everything, but it wasn't chicks. But it was related to Easter. So if it wasn't chicks, what else would it be? Yep, bunny rabbits. Parents would buy a bunny rabbit around Easter. The kids would promise to look after it. It would get played with a bit, and then it just got ignored. And then eventually they would say, nobody's looking after this thing. It's too much of paint to clean out. And it would end up at the SSPCA. I had never even thought about that. We had, at one time, we had 46 rabbits. And you had to make sure that you didn't put any boy rabbits with any girl rabbits. And we actually had to use a stable. We had a small animal room, which was meant to be for, they had like a wall of cages that was meant to be for things like rabbits and guinea pigs, that sort of thing. It would fill up just maybe a couple of months after Easter. It would fill up, and then they would have to use part of the stables to keep them in. It was crazy. It was something I just never thought about. And then I think dogs are probably the number one over like the year. Okay. So the male kills the babies. I've never had pet rabbits. Never really appealed to me. The first pet that I had was a gerbil. And I had the school hamster during the summer holidays, and it escaped and ended up inside the mattress of my bed. And my dad had to cut the material at the bottom of the mattress to get the hamster out. Okay, I never knew that. What happens in the wild though? Because obviously the male can go where he wants in the wild, and the females have babies. But I suppose, well, no, I was going to say, I suppose in the wild, he's not sort of stuck in that small area. He can wander. Oh yeah, I've had experience with that. I had a cockatiel, and I got it, and the guy told me it was a male, and I think I had it maybe about a year, and then it started laying eggs, and it was just itself. There wasn't another bird with it, and it laid, I forget, it laid a lot of eggs. But at that rescue centre, I mean, it was everything. We had chickens, we had goats, we had horses, we had Shetland ponies, dogs, cats, hamsters, goldfish, snakes, ferrets, mice, chinchillas, chickens, a turkey. We had one turkey. I can't remember. There were a few surprises at times. Yeah, a lot of different animals. But as I said, the thing that I concentrated on was the dogs. I ended up taking one. I knew it would happen. I'd been helping there for, I don't know, a year maybe. And I went in one morning and this one dog caught my attention. They had instructions. They had like a folder, and it had everything to do with feeding and how much to feed them, what to like for different animals. So if you weren't sure, but normally what would happen, there would be somebody that specialised, like somebody specialised in the small animal room, and they dealt with the animals that came in there, and that was what they did all the time. And then you had people that specialised in the dogs, people that specialised in the cats, horses. So normally there would be somebody there because there were a lot of volunteers, especially at weekends. But because of the shift pattern I worked at work, I was off in the middle of the week, and every 6 weeks I was off for a whole week because of the shifts. And I just decided to try and be a volunteer. And when I phoned them, they said, we don't really need anybody at weekends, but if you could come in during the week, that's when we're struggling for people. And because of my shift pattern, I could do that. So there were books with guidelines on everything, but there would normally be at least one person that was experienced in whatever the animal was. I mean, I knew nothing about horses, and I was up one day, and they said to me, "Will you be in next Thursday or something like that?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, that's good." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Because the farrier is coming to check the horses and reshoe some of them." And I was like, "I know nothing about horses, like nothing. I know the front end and the back end, and that's it." And they said, "No, it's okay. We'll show you how to put a bridle on, and all you have to do is just hold them, and the farrier will do the rest, and he'll tell you what to do." So at that time, we had some big horses there. At that time, there was a what do you call it? A Clydesdale, absolutely massive thing. And I thought, if this thing decides it's going to run, I mean, I'm never going to stop that. So they showed me how to put bridles on. They had the big Clydesdale, and then they had some sort of a couple of normal sized horses, and then they had Shetland ponies, like little dinky things, quite cute, really smelly but quite cute. So the farrier came and he said, "Okay, we'll start with the Clydesdale, like the big one." And I thought, okay. So I went and got the bridle on it and brought it out and trotted it up to the guy. And it was really, really easy to get it to go where you wanted. And it came up and it just stood. And the guy sat down and, I never sat, what did he do? Yeah, he was sitting on a little stool. And then he stood up and he tapped its knee and it just lifted its front foot backwards. And he straddled its leg and started cleaning the hoof. And the horse knew what he wanted. He would just tap its feet and it would lift it up and he would just do his thing. So that one, he was just cleaning it. He wasn't reshoeing it. So he did that and everything was okay. And then we did the horses and everything was okay. And then I went away and got one of the little Shetland ponies. And I thought, well, this is the easiest one last. And he said to me, he said, "Just watch what you're doing with these Shetland ponies." He said, "Because if they rear up, they've got a bad habit of rearing up and they bring their front foot down and they can hit your knee. And if they hit your knee, they'll shatter your leg. And I was like, okay, that's nice. This little dinky thing, like a big dog. So we started trying to do that. It wouldn't let him near it. And he said, these have never ever been touched by a farrier. So he had to leave it. Couldn't do anything with them. But while I was holding it, it turned around at one point and it grabbed my jacket pocket, ripped it off and ate it. So that was my experience of Shetland ponies. Every day was an adventure working in that place. You never really knew what was going to happen, or what was going to come in. Yeah, the funny thing, thinking about it, it's what we call a donkey jacket. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a black, thick. It was in the winter time we were doing this, and I had it from when I used to be a welder. If I was welding outside, I wore this donkey jacket because it was really thick and warm, and I kept it, and that's what I was wearing. And it ripped the pocket off the donkey jacket and ate it. But there was another time, the person that looked after the small animals had called in sick, and they said to me, could you just go and check the small animal room and just clean out anything that needs done? So I went in and they had, what did they have at that time? They had some rabbits as normal. They had some ferrets, some rats, some mice, some hamsters, and some goldfish, and I can't remember what else. This one is called the Hoverfly. It's a custom of a picture that I took myself. I can show you the thumbnail, but it doesn't really show off that well. So it's this, and it's I'm going the wrong way. You can see, oh, you should be, oh, hang on, I'll get this right, yeah. So it's an 80 by 75. Keep going the wrong way. 80 by 75 square, and it has, oh, my magnet's stuck to my table. It has 89 colours. So this is the last section I'm on. Hi, Helen. It looks a lot nicer than the thumbnail. I will be posting a picture on Instagram when it's finished, which should be, I should finish it today. I'll probably post a picture up just after I've finished it. So you'll see it on Instagram. If you look for Diamond Painting Gym, I don't know if you've seen me on Instagram, but I'll be posting a picture of the whole thing. Haven't touched it. Why? Why? You're on lockdown and you're not touching diamond paintings. I thought that would be the first thing. Or did you decide to catch up on the ironing instead? How's the weather in Scotland, Helen? Is it dry? No, don't do anything. Yeah, I avoid it as much as possible as well. My gran used to love ironing. It's just weird. No, okay. So dry for now. It's just looking out the window. Blue skies and sunny here, and it is temperature 24 degrees outside. So nice sunny warm day. And I forgot what colour I was doing. Number 8. Crochet. I've never tried that. A lot of people at diamond paint crochet, I've noticed. But the diamond painting is definitely it for me as far as arts and crafts go. Takes up all my time. And I really enjoy doing it. Normally I listen to music while I'm doing this, but because I'm on YouTube, I can't do that. Don't want to get in trouble for breaching copyright. But normally I'm sitting with headphones on, and I just normally have Spotify on and just listen to music while I'm doing this. Just find it very relaxing. So how long does it take to crochet a queen size blanket? Is crochet quite quick? Like to crochet, do you crochet scarves? I've no idea. Is crocheting faster than knitting? So you started in May and you're still doing it? Just faster. It takes more yarn. I would have thought it took less, because when I think of crochet, there's gaps. Whereas when you knit things, it's like tight. Yeah, no problem, Helen. People just drop in as and when. I don't even have a set time for coming on. I'm just glad that people do drop in, and some people even chat. A lot of people drop in and don't say anything, and then leave and don't say anything. It's just how the internet is. That's fine. Some people drop in out of curiosity because all they see is Copenhagen. WIP and chat from Copenhagen. To people that don't diamond paint, they probably have no idea what WIP and chat means. So they may be coming in expecting to see Copenhagen or be talking about Copenhagen or something. They come in and they're looking at this and thinking, what is that? And then they leave. And that's just how it is. It's like skimming through channels on TV. You skim through 150 channels and then you say there's nothing on. Which is technically not true. There is nothing on that you want to watch. That's the difference. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I feel that the internet is a very visual thing, that people just come on, they want to be entertained and they just want to sit there and let somebody else do everything. And they're happy doing that. The thought of typing to a complete stranger is a bit like, well, that's kind of weird. So they just sit and stalk instead, which isn't weird. But I mean, it doesn't matter. But I mean, when I started doing these lives, I was never ever going to come on and just talk about diamond painting and nothing else. I think you can only talk about diamond painting for so long and then you run out of things to talk about. Yeah, we're the weird antisocial social people on the internet. Hi Hazel, good morning. Welcome back to Copenhagen. Sunny Copenhagen again, 24 degrees Celsius and blue skies. So I'm on the last section, Hazel. This is it. This is the last piece. And I will finish it today, even if I don't do much when I'm talking on here. I'll definitely get it finished. And then I have to put away 8 to 9 colours. And then take out the freezer bag that has the next one in it, that has 90 colours. And then sit and sort them all out into tic-tac boxes. But I'm actually going to do that as a YouTube video to show people how I set up my stuff. Okay, is that all of that? I think it is. So how are you today, Hazel? Looking forward to the weekend? Yeah, you get weirded by the minute, Carl. You talk in chat rooms to people that you've never met, and you like kitting up. And you kit up things that you aren't even doing. I just kit up when I really have to. Cool. DPing, good. Eleven is. That's the thing when you're doing these things. This diamond painting is actually sitting sideways. Well, you can see that by the key at the bottom. So the symbols are on the side, which isn't too bad until you come to arrows. So the arrow that I'm going to do just now is pointing up, but it is actually pointing left on the key. So I need to look for the left arrow, and then I need to put the left arrow on the up arrow. And I've got a left arrow, a right arrow, an up arrow, a down arrow, and a diagonally up to the right arrow. Yeah, I don't like kitting up at all. It's my only part that I don't like. I was going to say it's my least favourite part. It's the part that I hate, and the rest of it I like. It's just the kitting up. Kitting down is okay, takes time, but the kitting up, especially like this one, this is not this one. Well, this one as well. This was, but the next one that I'm going to do, it's the small bags of 200 that come in the big strings. So you've got to cut open all these little bags. That's the worst. Yeah, dropping drills is not a good idea. You think that's interesting, Carly? Seriously? Yeah, I know. I've thought about that as well. Diamond painting is not the most environment-friendly hobby. I mean, we deal with little pieces of plastic. And then we have rejects. Even if you keep your spares, you've still got reject drills and little misshapen bits and pieces. And they just get thrown out. And then you've got all the bags, especially with these 200 ones, all this plastic again. Not the most eco-friendly hobby. But I was reading something that said actually washing your clothes in a washing machine is bad as well, because there are micro particles of plastic in some of the fibres, depending on what your clothes are made of. And when you wash them, some of them break away and they get flushed down the drain, and they create like a sludge because they're like tiny, tiny pieces that you can't see. So you imagine all the people that are washing their clothes every day, and then that water's going into the drainage system. So there's plastic even for that. Should have shown you my doubles of the stamps. Yeah, it's okay, Carly. You're not going to convince me that kitting up is interesting. It is about as interesting as watching politics, maybe even less. I'm trying to think how I kitted up my first kit when I got it. Oh yeah, I did have Tic Tac. I bought a box, a 64 box of Tic Tac boxes. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Nana of 7 Crafts. Wife is not here. Wife is at work. But I'll tell her you said hi. So I'm on the last section, Nana. This is it. Last section of an 80 by 75 with 89 colours. And as soon as I finish this, I'll kit down and start kitting up for another custom that has 90 colours. And I know a lot of people would not do this. A lot of people comment on the confetti and say they don't have the patience to do that. It really doesn't bother me. Okay, it takes longer, but I mean, basically all we're doing is putting a square or a circle on the canvas all the time. It's like when people say, "Oh, I hate doing 310." It's like you're doing the same thing. It's the piece of plastic's a different color, but you're doing the same thing. What's the problem? Not quite there, but I will finish it today. So thanks. Yeah, that's unbelievable, Helen. I mean, what was that? 2 months or something? I had problems with that foot. I don't know how many blood tests and visits I had. And then I stopped taking the medication about 2 weeks ago because it had gone, and then it flared up again. So I've got was it blood to go and give blood or have a blood sample taken on Tuesday, and then back to the hospital on Thursday to have a look at it and see what they're going to do. So back to no shoe. Can't put anything on my foot again. So I can't go out for a walk or anything. Can't drive. Can't do anything. So I just have to diamond paint. The struggle is real. Yep, that's exactly right. I'm glad in a way that it's my foot and it's not my hand, because then I wouldn't be able to do this. I don't think it's big enough to cover in the state. Well, they still think it's gout, but my own doctor, she wasn't so sure. It shouldn't have lasted as long as it did, and it shouldn't have came back as fast as it did. So that's why they want to look at it again. I've still got medication that I was taking before, so they've told me to start taking it again, continue with that. And I noticed today the redness and the swelling has went down slightly. So the medication is doing something, but it's not clearing it up, and that's the thing that's sort of not worrying them, but or what would you say, baffling them. Baffling, that's a good word, baffling them. So they want to have another look at it and take it from there. I don't know what they're thinking about next. Oh, sorry to hear you've been sick, Nana. Hope you are well now. Just checking. I think I've got all of them. I know I'm going to put this back and I'm going to find another one. That's just how it goes. So I'll be posting the final image up on Instagram if anybody wants to see it complete. So it's Diamond Painting Gym on Instagram. And if you already are on Instagram and following me, you will have seen a lot of pictures of this as I've been working on it. Ugh, I hate that when you can't sleep. What else do you have, Helen? Probably not, Carly. It's Friday afternoon. All they're thinking about now is finishing early and getting home and having a beer. I don't know why they have meetings the last thing on a Friday. They used to do that when I worked in Scottish Water as well. I was based from home. I had a van full of equipment and I would get my work via email. I'd be driving around all over East Central Scotland. And then every Friday, I had to go to Fairmile Head in Edinburgh for a meeting that we could talk about the jobs that we did during the week. And I always thought, what is the point of this? I could be out doing another job instead of being in Edinburgh. And if you want to see the jobs I've done, look up my job sheets. But I think they were trying to be social, Carly. I think that's what that was. because I worked alone most of the time, unless it was a big job and I needed people for health and safety reasons. Most of the time I worked alone. I quite enjoyed that. But we never had Teams and all that stuff where you can video conference and all that stuff. You had to actually go. Yeah, when I worked at the Copenhagen Post, the thing that struck me was the first day I went into the canteen and opened the fridge to put my lunch in it. The fridge was full of alcohol, and that's what happened there as well. On a Friday, got to about 2:00 in the afternoon, and that was it. Everybody would just go in and get some beer and then just sit and talk, and that was it. That's how you finish your week. And then if it was somebody's birthday, they would have beer. Friday, they would have beer. You have Facebook. Are you in the Facebook group, Helen? Well, you'll see it on YouTube. I mean, will you? No, you won't. I'm not putting it up on YouTube. I'll do it. I will be doing it as a YouTube short. I've started doing YouTube shorts. So I'll be doing a 15-second video as a YouTube short. So you'll see it on there. Smoke flowers and work instead. No, this is Denmark, home of Carlsberg and Tuborg and countless microbreweries. Alcohol is a very big part of the Danish society. And hot dogs. And cake. That was a thing that caught me out moving to Denmark. I found out that when it's your birthday, if it's a work day, you are expected to take cake into work so all of your colleagues can have a piece of cake. In the UK, when it's your birthday, somebody buys a cake for you. In Denmark, you buy it yourself. And take it into work. I mean, in the UK, you would never go to work with a birthday cake. That would just be weird. If you don't do it in Denmark, that's weird. Yeah, it should be. If not today, it'll be tomorrow, Helen. I'm not sure how long this will take. If I stopped talking, it would get done quicker. But as I said yesterday, the point of the WIP and chat is more about the chat than the diamond painting, for me anyway. I mean, it's the reason that I put the camera on, so I can chat to people. I could just sit here and listen to music and finish it, but I enjoy chatting to people, finding out where people are, what's happening, just random stuff. You always get weird look for not drinking alcoholic stuff. My dad never drank. And because my dad never drank, people just took it for granted that I didn't drink. And I remember at New Year, or Hogmanay as we call it in Scotland. When I was getting close to being old enough to drink, I remember somebody gave me a glass of like juice, and I said, "Have you not got any beer?" And they looked at me and said, "You drink beer? Your dad doesn't." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not my dad." A margarita. I don't even know what that is. I've heard of it. I mean, I've heard that a margarita. I know it's a drink, but I don't know what it is. I can honestly say I have never walked into a pub and asked for a margarita. Can I have a pint of margarita, please? So what is a margarita? See, this is the thing. When I switched this camera on earlier, I did not expect to be talking about margaritas. I like how you say it's like a frozen daiquiri, as if I know what a daiquiri is. It's a That's good enough, Helen. It's a cocktail. That's why I've never had one. Do you get a little umbrella in it? Or is it one of those ones with the firework? They put it down and it goes pshh. Or is that only for birthdays? Yeah, a slush puppy. It's like crushed ice and juice. I never realised it was such a complicated question. I'm quiet because I'm concentrating. Yeah, so that's all of them. Cold teeth and a headache. Still waiting on that doorbell ringing. Potentially got, what was it, 4 deliveries today. One was meant to arrive yesterday, and then I got a message saying it would be any time between now and the 8th. Hamburgers and fries, now you're talking. I like hamburger and fries. Okay, Carly, enjoy your meeting. I'm sure it will be stimulating. So I've got 9 very quiet people in. Where is everybody? Where are you watching from? Where in the world are you? Alabama. I couldn't remember where you were, Nana. It's been a long time since I spoke to you. Alabama. Are you having any problems with the weather in Alabama? Been seeing a lot of floods going on. If it's not floods, it's fires. When you say Alabama in the US, is there an Alabama somewhere else? Because when I hear Alabama, I only think of America. Hello, Desert Road Craft. Thanks for dropping in. New Mexico, USA. Cool. Well, I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark, capital city of Denmark, but I am originally from Scotland. I moved here in 2012. So that explains the accent. So the end is nigh with this one. Final section. And I started this one, just checking in Gems Flow. I started this one on the 30th of June. The weather is crazy. Yeah, it is. I saw the New York being flooded. And what was it, 8 people were killed? Crazy. We've got sunny blue skies in Denmark. Well, at least in Copenhagen anyway. 24 degrees Celsius. You don't use Celsius in America, do you? Give me a second. Oh, it's actually went up. It's 25. At the press of a button, I can tell you what that is in Fahrenheit. 78.4 degrees Fahrenheit in Copenhagen just now. That's hot for you, is it? It's hot for Denmark. This is probably the end of the summer for us. It won't be long until people are wearing scarves and stuff. Alabama. So what is Alabama famous for, apart from the song? I know that different states are famous for different things. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's a nightmare when you keep losing connection. You get so used to it. And then when things go wrong, it drives you crazy. So Alabama's famous for rain then. Good point, Helen. I didn't even know that was a movie. I only know it as a song, Sweet Home Alabama. But I just meant like the state of Alabama. What is it? Alabama, is that an agricultural place? Scotland has a football team. They play a game where they use their feet to kick the ball, and they call it football. They don't have a game where they throw the ball with their hands and call it football. But seriously, there are some amateur teams that play American football, but it is not a national sport. Nobody would really go to watch it. It's not a thing. Maybe like rugby. I don't think rugby's a thing in America, as far as I know. But no, American football isn't really a thing. What we call football, soccer, is a huge thing in Scotland. It's probably the most watched sport. Alabama Crimson Tide football, 17 national championships. Coal mines, right? That's the only thing that made sense to me. Coal mines, really. Scotland used to be famous for coal mines, but they all closed down. In fact, the town I was born in, it was established because of a coal mine. And back then, nearly everybody, every man anyway, was involved in working in the pit, as they called it. I've never ever understood why it's called American football, and there's only one guy who kicks the ball once in a while. Never ever made sense to me. Handball would make more sense, but then they do have a game called handball, which is a big sport in Denmark. Handball. I had never heard of it until I moved here. But I mean, the big American sports like American football, like see, we would say American football to differentiate. In America, I would imagine you just say football and everybody knows what you're talking about, and you say soccer if it's not that. Tornadoes. You're famous. Oh, that's not something I would want to be famous for. Do you get a lot of tornadoes? I know they have like do they not have like a hurricane season or something, or is it tornadoes? You have a certain time of year when the conditions just create tornadoes, hurricanes, that sort of thing. I think we had one hurricane in Scotland that I can vaguely remember of. But in America, you've got American football, baseball, basketball. What else? America. The Indianapolis race, the racetracks where they just go around in an oval all the time. You don't get them in the UK. Well, yeah, you get basketball, but I mean, not on the same level. I mean, like you don't get hundreds of thousands of people going to watch a basketball game or anything like that. It's football or soccer is the number one sport that people go and watch. I'm trying to think what the number two would be. horse racing, maybe. When I first read that, Nana, I actually read, "We are famous for tomatoes." Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about the main sports that attract crowds. In the UK, football or soccer is the number one by far. And then you've got tennis. You get Wimbledon. That's a big thing, but that's only in the summer, at a certain time of year, and it's just that one tournament. Golf. A lot of people play golf, but a lot of people play golf in America as well. Badminton, again, it's not a big spectator sport. I mean, you won't get that like live on BBC badminton. Snooker is quite a big one in the UK. It used to be, and darts used to be big, but I don't think it is anymore. Oh, badminton horse trials. I thought you meant badminton as in the sport. Yeah, they do televise that, the horse trials. But again, overall, soccer would be the number one. And it's the chair that squeaks, not me. When I worked in the civil service in Scotland, we had a new guy had started and told us that his cousin was Dario Franchitti. I don't know if people in America would know him. He did the what do they even call it? The car racing. I forget what they call it. Tornadoes and hurricanes. Yeah. You're not selling it to me, Nana. You're not selling it to me. I'm not getting good vibes from that. It was indie racing. He told us his cousin was Dario Franchitti, who was big in the Indy car racing. And we didn't believe him. And then he'd been with us for about a year. And he said, Dario is picking me up after work today. And we thought, yeah, okay. And he did turn up. Dario Franchitti, the world famous racing driver, turned up in a red Ferrari. It was a very nice car. But he was in a really bad racing crash, and he gave up the sport. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what speeds they do, but I mean, I would guess what was it going to be up like maybe 200 miles an hour or something? I know the Formula One cars got up to about that. I don't know about the Indy cars. I don't really watch watched it sometimes, but I don't watch indie racing that much. But I've seen them when they hit the wall. Scary, scary stuff. And that time, I don't know if he's still with her. He was with a famous actress. I don't even know who she is, but seemingly she was like very famous. And when he came to pick that guy up, she was with him. And I wouldn't even know her name if you said it, but his name is Dario Franchitti, and he had a very famous actress girlfriend. I'm not up on names from movie stars. Okay, here's a question. This is what I use, just pink wax. What about everybody else? What do you use? Do you use just normal pink wax, or do you have something you use that you prefer? Yeah, so you just use the basic wax. Yeah, I do the same thing. I did a video quite a long time ago now, where I was comparing different waxes, and I called it "Which Wax Wins." And what I did was I took one dot of wax, and I just used it until it wouldn't pick up. And what I did was, it was quite a big canvas, so it was like this one. This has thin blue lines, so you see squares, and each square is 100 drills. So what I did was I started with like the first column, and I just did it 10 wide and kept going with one dot until it wouldn't pick up. Then I left a gap, and then I started with the next type of wax. A lot of them were pink wax, but it was like pink wax from Homecraftology, pink wax from Diamond Art Club, pink wax from, I can't remember, and then just generic different pink waxes. Sometimes they just look different. I can't remember if I did the blue wax. I don't know if I had that. Yeah, I think, I did. I had some blue wax, and I did museum putty and paddy wax. I can't remember, but altogether it was 13 different waxes. The preparation for that video, it took so long because I was having to do one dot and then one dot and one dot, and I've actually still got them. I think about it somewhere. Yep. So this is the bag of wax, and I took one dot of each and tried them, and still got the sheet of paper. So because it was in squares of 100, it was relatively easy to add them up. So it was 13 different ones. That's the sheet. And then in order of the lowest, so the least, the one that did the least was super sticky paddy wax, which I was surprised because I thought super sticky, it should be really good, but just didn't work for me. So one dot of super sticky paddy wax did 997. And then cherry bomb paddy wax 1006, then diamond dots pink wax 1373, pink wax from Smith's Beads, pink wax from Painting with Diamonds, just a generic pink rectangle, pink wax from Diamond Art Club, pale pink wax, like sometimes you get pink wax and it's a lot paler than the normal stuff, so I tried that. A pink square, can't remember where that came from. Then Homecraftology, and then this supermarket. That was a totally random diamond painting that I found in our local supermarket, It was the only time I'd ever seen a diamond painting in the supermarket, and I've never seen them again. And that pink wax actually was the third highest. And then the pale pink wax again, a square of pale pink wax. And then the top one, the one that won, was museum putty. And I placed 5,861 drills with 1 dot of museum putty. But I did the video and I said at the end that I still just use whatever. I mean, I've got a bag of pink wax that I just pull out a square whenever I need it. This is my pink wax bag. So all of the pink waxes that I get go in here. And I actually got blue wax. I did test a blue wax, but it was a really small one, a little blue flower. But I haven't tried this yet. I think there's four pieces in that little tub. But I just open the bag and pull out a piece of wax. I don't really pay attention to what it is or what shape it is. But I was just curious if anybody uses something else. Purple wax. I don't have any purple wax. Blue tack. I haven't tried blue tack, and I haven't tried the micro dots either. I just find that I don't have any problems with the pink wax that comes with it. So I just use that. I like it when you get to that point that you can really see that you're nearly finished. I'm getting there. For a while you feel as if you're just going and going and going, still loads left, and then suddenly it's like, just a few here, a few there. You get these random ones that sort of fills it in so it's big chunks are done. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I was just curious. What do you call it? The blue tack. I actually went to get that and I couldn't find it in Denmark or in Copenhagen, which I thought was kind of weird. But I have seen people commenting that they get a greasy residue from the blue tack. But I don't know if it was just Maybe they were pressing too hard and it was sticking or something. I don't know. Tried several, back to using pink wax. The thing that got me sort of curious about the whole wax thing was I had been using the pink wax from the beginning, just the wax that came with it. It was a Diamond Art Club. And it was lasting. I never actually thought about how long it was lasting until I was watching a YouTube video and she said, are you fed up of pink wax only lasting 3 minutes? And I thought, pink wax lasts me for hours. So I watched the video and I kept thinking, why is she saying 3 minutes? So I started getting curious about it and then decided to try all these different waxes to see if there really is that much of a difference. And my personal opinion is it's got a lot more to do with how hard you press the pen than anything to do with the wax. I know that I'm very light when I touch the drills. I just touch it on the glue and lift it off. I don't press hard. Like I've seen people in some videos and it looks as if they press really hard. I think that is the biggest thing. If you lift the drills gently and just touch them and lift them and touch them, don't press them. I think that helps a lot. And I remember somebody saying that they had been using multiplacers, but they kept breaking them because they pressed so hard. And I thought, why? Why do you need to do that? All you have to do is touch it and the drill will stick. But I take it some people are just heavy-handed, and that's how it is. I take it the meeting is finished. Press hard, been going 2 weeks. When Tammy started it, she was like saying, she was like, how come you're not changing your wax as often as me? And I said, initially it was like, I don't know. And then I was watching her and she was pressing hard. And I said, try just touching. And that made a huge difference to her. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How hard are you pressing? I mean, I wouldn't know because I've never used a multiplacer, but I'm thinking you must have to press really hard to snap them. Maybe it's a way of getting that aggression out or something. I don't know. But when Tammy started using it lighter, she noticed a massive difference in how often she was having to put wax in. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They can't be pressing straight down. They must be pushing at an angle, and it's putting stress, like uneven stress, on the weakest part of the. I was going to say straightener, the multiplacer. So if you hadn't attended, would you have missed much? It does take me a while to fill the diamond painting pens. I don't know. I just stick the pen in and twist it. Have my finger behind it so I don't poke through. And then just turn it. And then what I do is I use my thumb I just press my thumb down on it and swipe it to the side and get the excess off. Keep going the wrong way. And then that's it. After I place the first couple of drills, I rub my thumb again because usually there's a tiny amount that you can't really see, but you can feel it. And then after that, I don't do anything with it. Ah, okay. So do you think they would have missed you if you hadn't attended? Ah, okay, hold on. I thought you meant it took you a while to fill the pen, but yeah, I get what you mean. So it's a while before you have to refill it. Purple Wax, sponsored by Prince. I don't know about these different colours like blue wax and pink wax. I mean, my sort of gut feeling is it's the same stuff, but they use a different dye. Oh, delivery. I wonder if it's for me or Tammy. Back in a minute. Well, it was Tammy's stand for her laptop. So she'll be delighted to see that. Yeah, I don't like that one. I don't like that one, says he. No, I can't see it. It was one of those ones that's got a little sort of curve instead of being a straight edge. Oh, wasn't you? No, it's not that bad if I can't see it. It's just when I was putting it down, I saw the sort of crescent. Next. I did have one time that I threw away because it was just rubbish. It's only happened once. You broke your no buy. What did you buy, Carolyn? I'm just waiting on 2 coming from Mike. And that's it for a while. I think I've got over 30. Hi, Chantel. Is that your favourite diamond painting now? The cheeky panda. Looks pretty cool in that frame. Did you see the picture I put up? You only bought 2, so yeah, but you can't justify it by saying I only bought 2. You bought 2, Carly. That's bad. So now you've got 148 instead of 146. So what did you buy? But you do know that you didn't need another 2. That's the point. 2 Disney ones. Okay. So which ones? Which Disney characters? It's the fault of the Facebook group trying to pass the buck. So Amy the enabler. Pocahontas and Ariel. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many I've got because I know that I forgot to put some in Gems Flow, but it's 30 something. Shine Art Club Store. Never heard of that one either. You've got none in Gems Flow. Why? You're an IT person, Carla. You should have Gems Flow. You should have every detail in that database. You should have your smart lights on so you can see your diamond paintings. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it. I see some people commenting on things when they see things and say, that's a rip-off, that's a Diamond Art Club. And then a stack of people pile in on them, telling them to mind their own business. So that is the state of play in the diamond painting world. A lot of people are quite happy to steal artwork. And that's just how it is. Does Diamond Dots do Disney? I'm trying to remember. Was it Disney that Diamond Dots did? I know Diamond Dots are licensed for a few things. Yeah, it was Diamond Dots, right? Yeah, again, this is the thing. It's anybody that's officially licensed, they're paying somebody, so they have to pay them. And again, with the artwork, the artist gets a cut, so they have to pay them, and they're running a business. They have to make a profit. They have to pay wages and blah 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 blah. So the price goes up. The price goes up. A lot of people are like, "I'm not paying that. I want the cheapest." So they go to AliExpress or wherever and get them cheaper. Oh, cool, Helen. That'd be nice. Does anybody know if anybody has ever done a YouTube showing you an original, like authorized picture compared to a rip-off? Like a direct comparison side by side, or comparing the packaging, the contents, anything like that? Has anybody done that? See, that's what Chantel said. That's exactly what I've seen happening in groups. When somebody mentions that something's a rip-off, people jump in and tell them just to mind their own business. Okay. Could you see the difference? Thing is, looking at, if it's only a picture, I think it's hard when you're doing pictures of diamond paintings because they don't look anywhere near as good as they really are. I've found that taking pictures, they just don't look the same. They look a lot nicer in the real world. Chantel's off. Carly's an enabler. Yeah, there was a difference to be seen. But you also get the thing that if you don't have the other one directly next to it to compare, I would guess that for a lot of people, the other one would be good enough for them. Some people are a lot more fussy about their diamond paintings than others. Fire and ice. Yeah, Chantel, man up, get square. None of this easy peasy round stuff. Get double-sided adhesive. $40 by $120, that's big. Yeah, it went through my mind to do that, but then I thought, what's the point? It's the time to do the same one again. It took long enough just doing the wax comparisons. Yeah, expect DSA and have a craft knife handy. Never heard that expression, Chantel. Probably not allowed to use it these days. round trills and poured glue. Why don't you just ask them if they can send it completed? I think a lot of companies are now switching to poured glue though, like getting back and being sort of serious. I mean, I've got stuff that I was surprised it was poured glue. I think a lot of the companies are switching over, and I think it's for their own benefit as well as the diamond painter, because they'll have less rejects, they'll have less complaints if they use poured glue. Are there really? I never knew that. You haven't done a square? Best advice, take your time. Just take your time. And be quite selective about the drills you actually use. Look for any tiny little bits that stick out. If there's anything sticking out at all, don't use it. Maybe put them in another tray and keep them just in case you get a lot of them. But I mean, I don't have any problems with squares. I just take my time. I mean, you're putting a square in a square. That's it. You're putting a square in a square. Use the checkerboard pattern as much as possible. Yeah, it was just the way you asked it. I wasn't sure if you'd never heard it because you're over in America and you have different sayings. Sayings over in America, I'm sure that if somebody said it, I wouldn't know what they meant. Just like in Scotland, we've got sayings that you probably wouldn't get. Like if I said to you, Chantel, hod your wheest, what does that mean? Rub some dirt on it. I have no idea what that means. Double check. I don't want to start messing up. I'm nearly finished. Well, we're coming up to the 3-hour mark and there are still people here. I don't. What is Angie's record? She mentioned it before. I forget what she said. How many hours was it? No, I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. It's. I don't know if you were in, Chantel. It started flaring up again. I had to get in touch with the hospital and speak to the specialist. So she told me to start taking the medication again that I had been taking, and I've to get another blood sample taken on Tuesday, and I've got a hospital meeting with her on Thursday. So I don't think anybody expected that to happen. So just have to wait and see what they say. Because they told me that sometimes people get it and then it doesn't come back. Sometimes it can be 10 years before you get it again. And they said if you get it within the next 1 to 2 years, we need to look at different medication. And I ended up getting it back within 10 days. So let's see what they say. So I'm back to not wearing shoes again. I put, those blue things, the things that you put in your over your shoes, the blue elasticated things that you put on over your shoe to stop you trailing grit and dirt into somewhere. I put one of them. I put a sock on and then I put one of those blue things. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was lucky last time that the weather was dry every time I went out, because I went for quite a few blood tests last time. Every time I went out, it was dry. So I'm hoping it's dry next week. I don't think those things are waterproof. Yeah, it's annoying, to say the least. Tammy had them, believe it or not. She had, I think, 2 or 3 boxes of them in a cupboard. Been there for a long time. And I can't remember why she said she bought them in the first place, because that's what I was saying, like, before I went. I was like, I don't even have anything to put in my foot. And she said, oh, I've got those shoe cover things. So I don't know where they came from. I think it was when they were doing up this apartment and they were doing a lot of renovation and stuff. And she was wearing them to stop her getting dust and stuff in the soles of her shoes. Something like that, I can't remember. But she's one of these people that hangs on to things because they might come in handy. And of course it did. Because normally I'm saying we don't need to keep it. But I'm on 36, there's 26, obviously. Yeah, I'll probably be able to get it on AliExpress. Just put in the search, new foot, and then they'll just have a list what size, what colour. Well, that might be a good idea then, Carly. I don't know where she got them though. The thing is, I don't know how well they would wear outside. Like, you've got like sharp stones and twigs and stuff. I think they would just rip them. They're not really designed for outdoor use. You'd be better having a pair of Wellingtons or something and then just swap them. No, I think I'll keep the foot that I've got, Chantel. Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's all these little just individual ones that I've missed. But the way that I normally do it is like this. I just sort of start at the bottom and fill them as I go. So I find like I'll get that one and there's probably some scattered through here. I'll just work my way up to finish it. But I'm going to stop because I'm going to have some lunch. It is 9 minutes past 3. And I've done 3 hours and 3 minutes. Yep, so I'm going to leave it there. Have some lunch, finish it, and do a YouTube shot so that people can see the finished piece. And then I'll probably take a picture and put it up on Instagram and in the Facebook group. So, as always, thanks for dropping in and thanks for chatting. And have a good weekend. So, in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands. Chantel.